Hey beautiful, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. My name is Chisom. On today's video we are going to be recreating this beautiful bubu that Vicky James is putting on here. This dress is actually a Kendra Molly design, but the moment Vicky James wore it, everyone wanted it. So let's get into the tutorial. With me, I have the materials I'll be using to make this dress: my hemming gum, scissors, matching thread, tape for measurements, and this beautiful silk fabric. This fabric is in excess of about 5 to 6 yards, so I'm not going to be using all of it. So I'll go ahead and fold my fabric. I've folded my fabric. So to cut out the fabric, the amount of fabric you need is for the width is your shoulder measurement plus the length of your sleeve. So when you mark your shoulder, you measure the length where you want your sleeve to stop. Let's say my shoulder is 14, so I'll measure 14, and then I'll add my sleeve length. If my sleeve I want it to be 13, that means I'm going to be cutting 13 plus 14 together as the width. Then the length is going to be the length of your dress. That's the full length of your dress. So after folding my fabric, I'll go ahead and mark my neckline. You can see I left a space for the front side joining because the front is having slits at the down part and at the neckline. So I'll mark out my neckline width and neckline depth. For the neckline width, I use 3 inches, which is going to be the same width for the front and the back. And the back neckline depth, I use 1 inch, and for the front I use 2.5 inches. Okay, so I am carving out my neckline right now. So after marking out my neckline, I'll measure my shoulder and where I want my sleeve to stop. So after marking out my sleeve length, I will come down by the tip of where my sleeve stop. I'll come down by 1 inch and I'll connect it all the way towards the neckline side, just like I am doing like this for the shoulder slope. Then after that, I'll measure from the top of my shoulder down to my bust point line. From the top of my shoulder, I am measuring 10 inches downward, so this will serve as my bust line. So on that line, I will measure my bust divided by 4 plus excess of 4 inches. Yes, plus excess of 4 inches. My bust divided by 4 plus excess of 4 inches. After that, I move towards the sleeve side to mark out how wide I want my sleeve to open. Okay, I marked out how wide I want the sleeve opening to be. From the top there, I came down by 10 inches also. I am going to blend the line to make a smooth curve. This is to mark out the shape of the sleeve. I'll make a smooth curve from the bust line measurements I put there towards the end of the sleeve opening, just like I am doing right now. This is a standard way for making bubu, cut together sleeve bubu. After curving out my sleeve, I'll go ahead and take the measurements I have on the bust line all the way straight to the down part of the fabric, just as I am doing right now. I'll take the line down to the end of my fabric. After that is done, I'll go ahead and shape out my sleeve opening perfectly so that I will cut out. Then I'm going to cut it now. When you're cutting, first of all, cut out the back neckline so that you won't mistakenly cut the front neckline and you will now have a wide neck. Though you can also use the same 2.5 inches, but if you don't want your back neckline to be low, cut the back first, then you can trim out the front neckline after you're done. So after I'm done cutting, I went ahead to mark the center line where I'll be stitching down so that I'll be able to mark out where I want the neckline slit to stop. Okay, so from the tip of the neckline, I came down by 6 inches and mark. I still went ahead to make the mark all the way to the down, so that when I get to the hemline, I will still mark where I want the down slit to stop. So from the down part, I came up by 15 inches because I don't want the slit to be too open. When I am sitting down, all my legs will be showing. I didn't want that, so that's why I made a mark on 15 inches. You can go ahead and mark whichever way you want, how open you want. It is your choice. So I am going to stitch down from the mark on the top to the mark on the down. I'll take it to my sewing machine now, stitch it down, and then I'll bring it. After I'm done stitching, this is what it looks like. So this is where the hemming gum comes to play. I'll go ahead and insert my hemming gum in between the seam lines. Then I'll use my pressing iron and press it down so that it will lay flat and nice. Now this hemming gum technique is the best way to go about this. There is no other way that it will appear neater except to use hemming gum. This is what it looks like after I'm done ironing it down. You can see how beautiful it's looking right now, from the top all the way down to the bottom. The front line slit is there, the bottom slit is there as well. So I also went ahead to cut out tiny strips of fabric. This is about 1.5 inches in width. I will use it to pipe the neckline, but I would recommend you use facing for your own if you're going to be making this dress, because the piping, I ended up not liking it. But I am going ahead to pipe the neckline. Then after piping, I will pipe the front and the back. Then I will place the back on the front and join the shoulders together. So I'm done piping the neckline and joining the shoulders together. I also went ahead to finish up the sleeve opening and also ironed it to lay flat and nice. The next thing to do is to go ahead and cut strips of fabric. This is about 7 inches in width and the length is about 30 inches. I'll take it to the sewing machine and fold it over and sew it like a belt, and then I'll show you what it looks like. This is the outcome of the belt after I was done sewing it and ironing it to lay flat. Now let's move over to the secret ingredients in this beautiful bubu. You take the front part, flip it over to the wrong side. When you're done, you measure from the top of the dress, you measure where you want the belt to start. So usually it can start from your under bust line, from your waistline. For me, I measured from the top of the dress. I came down by my waistline length and I marked a straight line. At that line on the center, I'll be measuring half of my waist measurements on both sides of the center front. That is what I am marking right now. So it's this center line, we have half of my waist measurements. That's after I'm done, I'll mark out the line. So on that line, I'll place the belt. I'll pin down the belt on that line that I have made. I hope you understand. This line is my waist divided by 4 on both sides of this center front. After pinning it down, I'll take it to my sewing machine and top stitch just like I am pointing out right now. I'll top stitch on the belts. After stitching, this is what it looks like on the wrong side. Now this belt is the secret ingredients behind the fitting in this bubu. What you do is to go ahead and tie this belt around your waist when you wear this bubu, and it will automatically give you that fitting effect. So I'll go ahead and finish up the remaining parts of this dress, and This is what it looks like after I was done with everything. I have joined the sides together. I have gone ahead to iron it properly. This down slit is slitting, the up slit is slitting. I also folded the bottom part and hemmed it. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. I'll go ahead and put it on my body. Now this is the boo-boo on me. This is the boo-boo on me. This boo-boo is very beautiful. If you know how to style this boo-boo, everywhere you wear it to, people will be wow, 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 wow. I'm sure that is why everyone wants to know how this boo-boo was made. Since Vicky James wore it, everyone has been asking for it. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found this illustration helpful, kindly support me by liking, sharing, put your comments. In fact, tell me the dress is not fine. I will accept. Thank you.